Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I am trying to do everything possible not to extend my jaw at a, overall at an angle where it's like it's gonna hurt. Yes, the TMJ done came back, and man, I'm telling you, it's one of those things where I'm all like, I don't get how TMJ, they say that it's more so caused by stress, but I'm like, don't you think it is stressful to deal with something like that? So it's just adding more to the stress. I'm just saying, like it's just one of those things about the human body where it's like that ain't making sense to me. It's a little confusing, but I have a feeling on where the stress may have overall came from. And I think it has a lot to do with this video game and some other video games, but definitely this video game called Elite Dangerous. Now, for those that don't know what Elite Dangerous is a space simulator game. My thing is this though. I guarantee and I promise you, any of the developers, let's just overall look up the developers real quick to Elite Dangerous, because if any of them have been to space, it's just something that I would like to overall understand. It's something that I would like to know and things. So, developer Frontier Developments. Okay, do they have a Wikipedia page? They do. Frontier Developments is a British video game developer founded by David Brabin in January 1994. Is a video game developer and designer, founder and president, co-creator of the Elite series space training video games, first published in 1984, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's spent any time in space. It just looks like, good majority of his life he has just more so, because he was born in 1964. Then he founded the Frontier development company 20 years later. So at what point in time, I'm just asking because I'm curious, at what point in time within them 20 years you ever took like some time to go to space? I imagine 20 years old, most likely he's in college, just trying to overall figure out some stuff, probably took up like some sort of computer science class in college, and then that's how he came about Frontier developments and stuff. But at what point in time, though, that's what I would like to know. At what point in time did you spend time going to space? Because how you have it portrayed in Elite Dangerous, I guarantee and I promise you, we won't make it that far. We ain't going nowhere. We're staying right here on Earth, especially with just some of the stuff that I've had to deal with. I'm like, fam, besides the space stuff, I don't care for the space stuff. I don't care for the whole traveling through space. It's just more so how they go about the video game. That's what got me very confused, because so if you guys know me when it comes to video games and stuff, I like playing single player games. I like playing games by myself. If I can overall find a game where I can play it by myself, even if it is a multiplayer game, like for an example, Battlefield 2042, that is strictly a multiplayer game. But they do have that option where you can play the game entirely by yourself and you're just going up against a bunch of NPCs. I don't mind that. I actually like that. I actually think that that's a good idea, and that's a concept that a lot of developers need to take up on their video games. But imagine, now my thing is this. Imagine playing a video game, right, where, let's say you're playing God of War. That's probably, in my opinion, one of the best single-player games that's out right now. But let's say you're playing God of War. Now, the first game, it's more so about the main character, Kratos, and his son, Atreus, whatever the little bro's name is. But anyways, it's about them going on this adventure, taking their mom's ashes, going all the way to the top of this mountain. And I had never beaten the game, but overall, I imagine, yeah, at some point in time, after all these different battles, boss fights, and all these other different types of fights, they eventually do get to this mountain. They pour out the mom's ashes, and they go on about their business. That's the first game. Now, imagine if they have it where you're timed on playing this game, right? You're timed on playing this game, and then let's say, the time doesn't pause when you pause the game and you go out. Let's say you're a 9-to-5 worker, right? You're a 9-to-5 worker. You only got maybe a few hours after work to play the game, and then you got maybe 15 to 30 minutes of playing the game in the morning or whenever you get ready to leave to work. But you got gotta get ready for work, you're sleeping, you ain't trying to like mess up your sleep schedule for this video game. So imagine you go and you buy this game, right? You buy the God of War game. You play, download the game. You eventually start playing it, and then at some point in time, you see a timer that pops up saying 24 hours. You got 24 hours to go and do this mission. So you're thinking along the lines 24 in-game hours, not actually 24 real-life hours. So you turn the game off. You spend maybe an hour or two playing the game. You turn the game off. So you're like, all right, I'll just come back to it tomorrow, call it a day and things. You come back to it tomorrow, same time. They're all like, oh, you failed the mission. So it's like you pretty much got to start all over. And let's say you progressed some like distance with this mission, or progress some distance with this game, and they have it where you got to start all the way from the beginning. And the crazy thing about it is like they don't even tell you, like they just pretty much just put you out in the middle of nowhere. They don't tell you how to get back home. You got to just figure that stuff out. So on top of you like out in the middle of nowhere figuring this stuff out, you gotta go all the way back to where you originally started and do the game and pretty much just play the game all over again. Do you think you're gonna want to play a game like that? Like, there might be some people where they're like, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind. I don't mind the adventure. The game is fun. I like this. This is cool and all this stuff. Well, not me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like stuff like that. And that's exactly what Elite Dangerous is. Mind you, I'm playing by myself. I'm playing solo play. So you would think it would be one thing if it was a multiplayer thing. If it was a multiplayer thing, I wouldn't even trip about it, because I'm like, okay, what's a multiplayer thing? Sometimes multiplayer games are like that, where you gotta complete stuff within a certain amount of time, and if you don't, then yeah, you don't end up like collecting that mission or completing that mission or whatever. I don't mind that. But in a single player game, I imagine that when you are able to pause and do all this other extra stuff, you are able to pause the mission that you're doing, whatever it is that you're traveling to, all this other stuff. They're not going to have it where it'll be on some real life stuff where it's like, I got to dedicate time in my life just to play this video game. Who does that? My thing is this, I get if you're dedicating some point in time of your life on playing a video game, but at least have it where the video game works with you, not against you. So that's pretty much what happened to me on numerous occasions, because the thing is this, they make it mad difficult to figure out how to fly your spaceship and things. So that's something that's why I was bringing up what I was bringing up in the beginning of this episode, asking the developers, have you ever been to space? Because I imagine that, yeah, it's going to probably be a little bit of a challenge. That's if you don't know what you're doing. But I imagine that they'll have you go through some training exercises, training courses, all that stuff, so you can eventually figure it out. So it's not so much with the like flying this, it's just more so with navigating. So it's like, imagine if they tell you, oh, you gotta go to Mars. How am I supposed to get to Mars? How exactly am I supposed to get there and do this? Or if you guys want me to do this mission, it's like, you're not explaining nothing. And the fact that a person gotta go on YouTube, look up numerous videos on playing the game, and it's like, fam, I'm not trying to have it where I spend more time watching videos and less time playing a video game. I'm trying to spend less time watching videos, like, yeah, maybe one or two things, but everything that exists in the game? Nah, bro. That's on some stuff where I'm like, you're not going to make me want to play any other more elite, dangerous or elite games in the future. I don't even know if they are working on any elite games. I know they did say it's a series, and they have worked on some other games. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm all like, you guys seriously got a lot of work to do when it comes to your video games, but they haven't really said how many games they've worked on in the Elite. Oh, wait a minute. So they got Elite, Elite Plus, Frontier, Elite 2, Elite, or Frontier First Encounters, and Elite Dangerous being the last one. Then they got ED Arena, and then, yeah, the developers, 3 people, companies, and then some related stuff. But my thing is this. If you guys decide to come out with another Elite game, you have to make it easy for the people that hasn't played your game. This is probably the first time that anybody done played an Elite game talking on Elite Dangerous. Ain't nobody heard, unless I'm just, clueless to when it comes to some video games. But I guarantee and I promise you, the same fame that you guys got right now with Elite Dangerous, People ain't, that wasn't there with the other Elite games. So you have to understand that there is going to be people that's going to be playing your video game for the first time. So maybe this is just my own little recommendation. Maybe have it where there's a difficulty mode, where it's like there's easy, there's medium, there's hard, there's challenging, and then overall it's like, yeah, with easy, it's like, okay, it shows you what you need to do. It shows you what buttons you need to press. It shows you how you need to navigate to places. They're not going to have it on some old silly stuff where it's like, oh, you got to complete stuff in a certain amount of time. When you turn the game off, it stops. It overall just stops. And then when you turn the game on, then the time continues and you ain't out here failing missions. And then that's something where it's like, okay, you guys won't add that, but you'll add it where my character can get fined. I ended up buying the game again. I did get my a refund for the game, but I ended up getting it like a little bit of a deal with it through the website g2a.com. It's pretty much like a place where you could go to get games at a cheaper price. They were selling it for $5, and then they were selling the DLC for $10, so I got the game. Rather than spending like a little over $20-some for it, close to $30, I ended up only having to spend no, because I think, let me actually check real quick. So if I were to buy it off of Steam, so no, it was the deluxe edition, which is $24.99. So yeah, it was relatively close to $30. And that's because it comes with the video game, but then it comes with the Elite Dangerous Odyssey, the DLC, which is what I've been more so interested in. But yeah, Odyssey is pretty much like your character gets to walk around across planets and all that stuff. And I seen that and I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a neat thing. That's something that I would like to do and stuff. And yeah, they just pretty much make it, they have it where it's like, there's some pretty much the trailers look fun, but then when you actually play the game, then that's when it's like this very, very steep learning curve where it's like, fam, I don't understand why you're expecting me to know of all of this stuff when you guys don't even know about flying in space. You just only know of a video game aspect of it. Yeah, they probably did some sort of studying and all that stuff, but it's like, do you think everybody else is doing that same form of studying about space and flying spaceships and all that stuff when they're just a casual gamer like myself and they're just wanting to play a video game? My thing is this, if we sit down, because I got a list of video games, even one game in particular, Gran Turismo. I have to say that is probably one, because they've even said that it's not a video game, it's a simulation. And I've recently been playing a lot of Gran Turismo Sport, and maybe that's just a really easy Gran Turismo game, but even Gran Turismo 7, the latest Gran Turismo, comparing their version of a simulation to Elite Dangerous version of a simulation, Gran Turismo 7 is literally a walk in the park. Now, I feel like when I look at most video games, and they have like that simulation aspect to it, I'm not gonna look at it as even games where it's like focused on like a certain subject, like Power Wash Simulator, or even Car Mechanic Simulator probably being the best possible example that I can think of. But anyways, I have put a lot of hours in Car Mechanic Simulator. In fact, I've put a lot of, yeah, I guess I did put in like multiple video games of Car Mechanic Simulator, but no, I remember that they did come out with a console version, and then the last version that they came out with, which was 2021. I don't think they've came out with any other versions after that. They've mainly been working on like other games and stuff, but I haven't seen like no new things with Car Mechanic Simulator, the series and stuff. Let me check real quick. It got good ratings on Steam. Yeah, because it's one of those games where it's like they're not going to stress you out in the process. But they got a lot of different simulators and stuff. The company that makes Car Mechanic Simulator, like they got House Flipper 1 and 2, Cooking Simulator, Contraband Police. I haven't played that game, but I have seen some videos on it, and it does look like a fun game. They also got one, I might end up getting this at some point in time, Animal Shelter. What are some other ones? Thief Simulator. Like, they make a lot of different simulator games. They even have like this one where it's a simulation of controlling a submarine in World War II. That video game is called U-Boat. What are some other ones? Yeah, they got like quite a few. Oh, Oh, I think they just recently came out with this one, Trans Siberian Railroad Simulator. It looked like you're like holding a gun at some point in time. Oh, it's because you're going up against a bear. Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. You know, because oh, I might have to. I'm gonna add this to my wish list just because I'll do that. I'll add games to my wish list and then like look at them afterwards and stuff because you know there'll be times I be forgetting the name of the game. But anyways, no, to explain to you guys my time with Car Mechanic Simulator and then my time with Elite Dangerous, you know, just comparing overall the two games. But so anyways, Car Mechanic Simulator, it pretty much, the title explains what this game is. You're a mechanic working on cars. I have to say that they make it really easy for you at the start. Like, it ain't even really a game where you gotta like look up stuff. Like, I guess maybe if you're unfamiliar with a part of the car, like let's say for an example, they have like these rubber things that you gotta add to like different frame parts of the car and stuff. I can't even remember the full name of it, but it's like these rubber things that you gotta add to like the frame parts of the car and stuff. And let's say like maybe if you don't know what that looks like you're unfamiliar, they do have like the name sitting next to it, like so when you hover over it, like they'll let you know all the different things that you need to actually, you know what, no, they have it highlighted on what you need to change in the car. So like let's say for an example, if you're changing out brake pads or an alternator or an oil filter or engine part, a wheel, door, windshield, window, headlights, tail lights, bumper, it don't matter what part of it is, they will highlight it for you. They'll let you know on how to take this part off and things, and you're good, you're chilling, you're solid. Like you'll pretty much will figure the game out yourself rather than having to go on to YouTube and look up tutorials on how to take away a bumper off of a Car Mechanic Simulator, how to change the alternator, how to change the brake pads, how to change this, how to change that, how to do this, how to do that. Like, they make the game easy for you. Same with House Flipper, same with pretty much every other game that they make like simulations out of and stuff. And then with it, that was my chair, by the way, because I don't want nobody all like, wait a minute, did you just pass it? No, that was my chair. My chair is a little squeaky. It'll make noises and stuff. Like, let me, like, I don't know if y'all can like hear that and stuff, but anyways, it's like it is the chair. Calm down, people. Anyways, back to the episode. But no, it's like, the thing is this, with Elite Dangerous, they don't do none of that. They don't do none of that at all, where it's like they'll explain stuff to you. They'll teach you things. Like, they'll have a tutorial where it teaches you like on foot combat, and then they have it where it's like they kind of somewhat have you go through a course on flying your spaceship and things. But other than that, when it comes to doing missions, and there's probably a gang of, even doing the missions, like that's something that I would personally do, is have like tutorial missions where it's a tutorial or it's to multiple tutorials on explaining every mission type in the game. They don't do none of that. They don't even have you do a tutorial on how to even navigate to a mission. I had to figure this stuff out on my own. And a game, actually, you know what? No, a good game to compare this Elite Dangerous to, there's this indie game called Spaceborne 2. I played, if you guys follow me on Twitch, then you probably remember a while back where I was playing that game heavily. So anyways, I played that game. I have no issues. I don't even think I ever had to look up a tutorial on how to figure that game out. I think the only issue that I had in that game was that every time when I made my character black, the man would come out white. And I'm like, what is going on right now? It's not that I have a problem playing as a white man. It's just when I make if you give me that option to make my character black, I expect my character to be black. I don't expect them to just, you know, pretty much Spaceborne 2, that might be something that they've picked up from Elite Dangerous, where at some point in time, something just expires. So I guess, yeah, my character's race, it expired, and his black license, it was revoked and things. But jokes aside, though, when it comes to navigating to doing a mission, I think they explain that to you at some point in time. But overall, it's like they don't make the game crazy difficult. It is one of those games where it's like you are gonna have to learn some things, you are gonna have to like, but I feel like that it does kind of, I think there was probably only one time where I did get stuck in Spaceborne 2, and it was like some mission where it's like halfway, maybe not even halfway in the game, but it was at like a certain part of the game where they had me doing this like army like mission where it was just weird how it was explained. But eventually Eventually, I did figure it out, and I think I will have a better chance figuring that mission out again than to figure out anything else in Elite Dangerous. I feel like the only thing that's elite and dangerous about that game, yeah, the space and all that stuff, how everything looks, that's elite. I have to say that's probably some of the best visuals that I've seen when it comes to a space video game. Even comparing it to Spaceborne 2, yes, there are some things that are nice about Elite Dangerous, but the dangerous part of that game is learning the stuff that they have you. I'm saying, like, even having it where it's like you're just trying to navigate to a mission. Like, why not have no tutorial for that? Why not have no tutorial? You're having a tutorial for all these other different things, but you don't have a tutorial on how to do missions. It's that type of stuff that just don't make sense to me. And it's like, and you're expecting people to talk highly of your game. And then the other crazy thing about this game, right, is that they released the video game on console. Now, that's how I remember when I very first had played that game. I played it on console because I heard about that game, and I heard about the space traveling, going to different planets and all that other stuff. And I was like, hey, this seems like a fun game. So I go ahead and I I bought the game, played it, thought it was an okay game, but I didn't play it no more after that. Then when I started thinking about it again, I looked it up just to find out that they had shut down development to the console version so they can focus on the PC version. So my thing is this. What does that overall tell you about this company? Is that me personally, I feel like that they don't have no commitment to the game, because eventually I feel like let's say if Starfield got like a significant, while in my opinion I would say that Starfield is a much more bigger game than Elite Dangerous. I could be wrong, but I overall feel like that if it came down between them two games, maybe if they had got rid of the insect like creatures in Starfield, or had like some mode where you can block out that stuff, I think I would have definitely, from the little that I played of Starfield, it wasn't as confusing as Elite Dangerous. No Man's Sky, I had to say, like, there's all these other different space games where it's like, if all these space games had got their act together and stuff, and they start fixing things, and their games got to an overwhelmingly positive, and Elite Dangerous was still in the same state that it's in right now, and let's just say, like, all these companies, all these people that did space games, they sat down and they listened to their audience. They focused on what they wanted with the game, and they developed that stuff, and they put that stuff in their game. Now their games are sitting at an overwhelmingly positive. I feel like Elite Dangerous wouldn't be able to do that. I feel like the developers, you gave up on the console version. Meanwhile, you got where the people behind Starfield is working on both the PC version and the console version. So what is that? My thing is this. When you see somebody, you see how committed they are to their video game, and then you see how committed the people are behind Elite Dangerous and stuff. There isn't no commitment there. There is no commitment there whatsoever. If you guys gave up on a game just to work on another one, and just for you guys to release a DLC, and this DLC is currently sitting, where is Elite Dangerous? Let me just see where this DLC is sitting at. Hold on for a second. Elite, so their current DLC, all reviews mostly negative, and that's 7,000 reviews that they got. And then their recent reviews, it's mixed. It's mixed between some positive and some negatives. But overall, it's like, fam, that's not good. That's not good at all. And that ain't something where it's like, oh, well, people just gotta adjust. There shouldn't be no people gotta adjust. You gotta adjust to what people want from your guys' game. If we're out here spending money on your game, we should be allowed to get what we want to get with this game. But it just seems like that. It's like, oh, well, we don't care. We're just gonna, because the last time they came out with an update for this, the last time they came out with an update for the DLC was on May 28th. So that wasn't too long ago. And then for the game, it was, yeah, pretty much the same thing and stuff. And it was like war contribution and bounty changes, system difficulty changes. So there's like previously system difficulty became exponentially higher than I think that was that word, higher the closer system is to a Titan. So system very close to a Titan could be extremely challenging to take. This often made it very difficult to weaken the Titan to a highly vulnerable state by taking those last control systems. How about changing the difficulty to the whole game? You're changing it to one little thing of the game. Change it to the whole game. Spire changes, Counter-Strike, AXCZ changes, Titan vulnerability changes, issue tracker, and bugs adjustment. And it's like, fam, they ain't said nothing about, and overall, where is this, even the recent reviews, mixed. There's like that's to me, that's not good. That ain't good at all. Where it's all like, you guys have been, how long has this game been out? This game's been out for a minute, I believe. It came out in 2015. So you mean to tell me that since 2015, and let's just see, so all reviews mostly positive. That's for Elite Dangerous, like the game itself. But let's just see, Starfield. Where is there? So yeah, the game is relatively more expensive, but dang, there's a sit in that mix. Well, and then the recent reviews have been mostly negative and things. But here's the thing, though, and I guess maybe, yeah, it's just one of those things where but the thing is this, I felt like with the reviews, because even I seen where Forza, the new Forza Motorsport, it got bad reviews, but I actually had liked the game. I thought the game was decent. I will say that the other Forzas are better because they have more content in it, but I think Starfield, it's one of those games where it is going to get the Cyberpunk 2077 treatment, where it's like, yeah, right now, unless the developers, they just give up and they're all like, we don't care no more. But no, I personally believe that Starfield is going to get the cyber, because they just recently announced some stuff with the game, and a lot of people were hyping it up. A lot of people were liking the new things that they were going to do to the game and stuff. So I personally do think that it is going to be one of those games where it gets the the Cyberpunk 2077 treatment. And yeah, it's going to start off a little bit bumpy, but eventually at some point in time it is going to get better, because I believe these are the same people that made let me go back to Starfield. Yeah, they are the same people that made the Fallout series. So it's like the award-winning creators of the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim and Fallout 4. And yeah, Skyrim being is the game, that game is so big, bro. I'm like, bro, that's one of those games where it's like, no, the amount of times they've released and re-released that game, that's, yeah. And then Fallout, I'm like, yeah, that's a game. Them are two games where I'm like, I don't even play them games like that, but I overall know that, yes, those games are very important in the gaming industry. So I believe that Starfield, yeah, it's probably going to start off bumpy, but I feel like that the developers, they really do sit down and listen to people when it comes to their games. And so I think that, and that's why their game's been released so many different times. Let me just see where the reviews are at with Skyrim. Yeah, I think Skyrim is available on Steam. Yeah, it's available on Steam. Hold on for a second. It's taking forever to load, I'm clicking on the thing. Why is it not doing nothing? Okay, there it goes. Yeah, very positive and stuff. And then Fallout 4. I think they got Fallout 4 on. Yeah, they got Fallout 4. $20 game. And yeah, and that's very positive. So it's like, yeah, I feel like that with this company, it's like, and this game came out the same year. Fallout 4 came out the same year as Elite Dangerous. And you mean to tell me that they done came out, I don't know, maybe, yeah, it might be one of those things where it's all like, oh, it's because they got a bigger production and stuff. But let's just overall see how many games they done release compared since 2015, compared to the company that made Fallout, Bethesda, I think that's how you say their name. But anyways, Maryland. What is this? I don't know why they had like a city pop up. I'm talking about the game company. Okay, Wikipedia. Games published, list of their video games, release date. Okay, so since 2015, dang, I don't know why they got like duplicates of the game and stuff. But anyways, okay, so since 2015, well, what year did, or not year, but month did their Elite Dangerous come out? Let me look that up real quick. So, no. That's not it. Where is Elite Dangerous at? I could have sworn Elite Dangerous. Okay. This game came out on, Mac, December. Oh, so this game actually came out before. So it came out in December 2014. Okay, so yeah, let's go to December 2014. Okay, so they ain't released no games in December 14. But anyways, Bethesda, they released Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, Doom 3, BFG Edition, The Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout Shelter, Dishonored, Fallout 4, Doom, Dishonored 2, The Elder Scrolls Legends, Prey, what else? Quake, Champions, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, The Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Then it was like that new version of Doom. Fallout 76, The Elder Scrolls Blade, Rage 2 is a pretty good game. I did like that game. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Doom 2 was a re-release. Okay. I think, yeah, this Doom 3 BFG edition, that was a re-release too. Youngblood, Wolfenstein Youngblood. What? I don't know why they got like duplicate. They should have just had it all on just one thing. But anyways, Doom Eternal, The Elder. No, that's the same thing. Quake Remastered, Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, Hi-Fi Rush, Mighty Doom. Yeah, that's this. Oh, that's like an Android like type game and stuff. These are games that they published, I think. Okay, same thing. Published, developed, all the same. Redfall, Starfield, Indiana Jones. This game hasn't came out yet, but I think they do plan on releasing it at some point. But yeah, the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And then yeah, they just gonna pretty much re-release some other games, and then Doom, the Dark Ages. So they put out all these different games. My thing is this. They put out all these different games. Now, yes, again, this is a much more bigger production company, so obviously they got the money to do it and stuff. But my thing is this. Spaceborne 2, that's a game where it's like it's just one person developing that game. So it's like, you mean to tell me that, yeah, it might not be on that same level as Elite Dangerous, but at the same time, it's one of those games where I can put it in the same conversation as Elite Dangerous. If not, the game is better. They actually have it where so the thing from the start of the game coming out, they already had it where your character can like go around on planets and have combats, even have battles in space. But no, the thing that tripped me out about Spaceborne 2 was that your character can get out of his spaceship, fly around in space, and then when he lands on a planet, he can also fly around that planet. He's flying like on some Iron Man stuff. It ain't like something, at least that I remember, it wasn't like something where it's like, oh, at some point in time, you just run out of flight. No, you can fly around for as long as you want to. And then another thing about Spaceborne 2, where I think that's the main thing that I was tripping off of with Elite Dangerous, is that when you turn this game off, and you go to sleep, or you go to work, or you go to wherever, right? You go to wherever. When you come back to this game, they're not on some old silly stuff where it's all like, oh, you failed the mission and you've been fined 20,000 in-game credits. No, they have it where the game pauses. When you turn that game off, everything stops within that game until you turn that game back on, and it continues with what it's doing. So my thing is this, if you got all these companies out here that could come out with games like yours, or just overall come out with a video game, and it seems like it is well thought out and put together, whether it's a simulation or not a simulation, but it's well thought out, it's well put together, they don't have no problems, they don't have no bugs, no nothing. It is a perfectly built, maybe not perfect, but it is an amazingly built video game. Speaking like, no, it's just naming off another game. It ain't really a space game, but still, it's one of those games where it's like, it's almost like a simulation of, overall this person. Spider-Man 2. That's a game where I'm all like, I will always, and I mean always, speak highly of Spider-Man, and just them three games. Marvel Spider-Man 1, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Them three games, in my opinion, some of the best games that I have played in years, bruh. I can sit down and play those games non-stop, and I will have no issues about it. Them games are amazing, and I hope one day they do decide to do a like a Spider-Man, like you create your own Spider-Man and stuff, because if they do something like that, I'm like, it's over. I'm like, nah, it's like there's literally no other game that would be able to top the fact that you create your own Spider-Man and you add whatever powers you want to add, and you go around, you helping Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and all these other things. They should really do that. Come out with a Spider-Man like multiverse video game, and you create your own Spider-Man, you add your own powers and all this other stuff. I guarantee and I promise you that will without doubt be game of the year. There is there is no other game. And if Elite Dangerous thinking like, oh, well, we're gonna try to come, no, there is literally nothing. You guys had since 2015 to do something with your guys' game, and the only thing that there's really, in my opinion, there's nothing else that they can do to the game besides maybe come out with another Elite Dangerous game, maybe have it where it's more story focused, and then have it where it's like, yeah, but it's story focused and it needs to be single player. If they're gonna do an Elite Dangerous video game, it needs to be story, like a actually story focused video game, and it needs to be single player, and it shouldn't be on no silly stuff where I turn the game off and turn the game back on. I'm out here failing missions and stuff. No, that's just, to me, I'm like, that is honestly, because it's like, my thing is this. I traveled. So when I had last played this game, I went out to go do a mission, right? I got all the way to the place. I don't know why they have it set up on some old weird stuff where it's like you can't just, it just automatically navigates to the building that you're trying to, or not building, but the planet that you're trying to go to. But eventually, I did figure it out. I got to the planet. The time kept changing, saying that I'm a few seconds away from the planet. Then all of a sudden, my spaceship just put on its brakes, stopped. I'm all of a sudden 10, 15 minutes, and it's like, okay, well, I'm trying to watch a TV show. I'm not trying to have it where I'm sitting here going back and forth trying to figure out what to do with this spaceship and going to this planet. I turned the game off. It wasn't even like on no 24-hour period. It was literally a few hours later. I turned my computer back on. I go do the mission. They saying that I failed the mission. Then when I open it up to see if I can navigate back to the place that I came from, that's when I seen the notification that my character was fined 20,000 credits in the game. That it's one of those things where it's like, and I'm mad at myself because it's like, I didn't even need to play this game. I really didn't. I didn't need to play this game. I didn't need to buy this game. But I'm pretty much out of my $16. I'm not getting that back. That money is gone. Because I went out and bought this game on G2A.com. And I'm highly doubt that the people that I bought the game from, they're not going to want to give me my money back. And I don't even want to put them through that where it's like, because when I did buy the game on Steam, I knew that the money was going to the developers. But I'm like, I don't want you guys to have my money. But some random seller on G2A.com, yeah, go ahead, spend that $16, have fun. But because I felt like with me, that was my mistake. That was my mistake of buying this game again. I shouldn't have did that. And just to turn around and end up buying the Destiny 2 DLCs where I'm all like, I'd rather have fun with that space simulator than what Elite Dangerous calls a space simulator. But that's not a space simulator. That's a space frustrator. Because I'm like, that's all that you're going to be when playing the game. Yeah, there might be some people that like the game, but I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for a good, solid space simulator, it's probably best to start out small. Like Spaceborne 2, because Spaceborne 2, that game, it's I think, yeah, it's the same price as it's the same price. They actually have Spaceborne 1 and 2, and you could go out and get Spaceborne 1 for $14.99, and then Spaceborne 2 is and that's $19.99. So, and it's currently in early access. The developer, he's working on the game day and night and things. He actually cares about the game. He actually is doing some stuff with the game where it's all like, it's a fun game. Like, I had genuine fun with this game. So, in my opinion, if you're looking for a good space game, get Spaceborne 2, because Elite Dangerous, that's a game where I'm like, no, until that developer does some stuff with the game that could be a little bit more forgiving and rewarding to new players and stuff, and it ain't just this frustrating game, then I'm like, until then, I really don't have anything good to say about the game. And I know that'll probably upset the developer, and I'm like, oh well, how do you think I feel when I didn't spend my money on this game and I'm pretty much stuck with this game for the rest of with both the console version, where they ain't even gonna do no more updates to it. So that should have been a sign right there. Maybe I shouldn't buy this game, because if they couldn't do nothing with the console version, what makes you think they're going to do something with the PC version if the PC version got bad reviews? So that's why I'm like, I should have known. That was a mistake on myself. I can't blame nobody else besides myself, but I am going to blame the developers, because it's like, you guys have had almost 10 years to do something with this game. You came out with one DLC, and that's it. That's all that you guys have done. And the game, it just seems like it's even more challenging than it was when I played it on console. Yeah, it's one of those games where I'm all like, you know what? I wish it the best, but if you think you're going to get any support from me, that's not going to happen. So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on podcast streaming service. Thank you guys, and peace.